This video is sponsored by InVideo AI.
For Francisco Lázaro, a marathon runner from Portugal, the dream of winning the Olympic gold ended in tragedy. During the 1912 Stockholm Olympics, Lázaro covered his body in animal fat, hoping to prevent sunburn and improve his running speed. But the fat prevented him from sweating, causing a fatal imbalance of electrolytes. Just 19 miles into the marathon, Lázaro collapsed with a body temperature of 105 degrees. He became the first athlete to die in the modern Olympics, but he wouldn't be the last. Today we're uncovering the worst tragedies to ever occur at the Olympic Games. From riots and bombings to tragic accidents and political violence, the Olympic Games have seen their share of shock and misfortune.
The games must go on.
More on that later, but for tips on surviving these and other extreme situations, hit that subscribe button.
Here at How to Survive, we're all about survival, even when it comes to everyday tasks like surviving the tough demands of being a video creator. But thankfully, with InVideo AI, you can save countless hours of writing, recording, and even editing. With InVideo AI as your co-pilot, you can create and edit entire videos with just a few simple text prompts. Start by telling it about the type of video you want. The more detailed the prompt, the better. And then select the right audience and platform for your video. And presto! InVideo AI will create an engaging script, find high-quality footage relevant to your videos, add subtitles, and even create a human-sounding voiceover to get you started.
Thrashing around makes you look like a tasty fish snack.
Need it in a different language? No problem.
Mais s'agiter dans tous les sens vous fait ressembler.
Wow, sounds pretty good. And the best part? You can upload a simple 30-second recording of your voice in any language you want, and it can clone it. If a shark gets too close for comfort, get defensive. Pretty mind-blowing, right? Want to give it a try? You can get started for free and create up to 4 videos a week. But if you're looking to clone your voice and create high-quality videos without a watermark, then I highly recommend getting the paid plan like I have. For only $20 a month, you'll have access to millions of royalty-free stock footage clips and save hundreds of dollars every month that you'd otherwise spend on editing tools, stock footage subscriptions, and more. Head over to the link in the description and use my code HowToSurvive50 to get twice the number of video generation credits in your first month. And now, back to the show.
Next on our list is the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics and its tragic beginning. Just hours before the opening ceremony, Nodar Kumaritashvili, a 21-year-old athlete from Georgia, was preparing for his Olympic debut in the luge. During his practice run, Nodar lost control of his sled near the end of the track. He was catapulted and collided with a metal pole at breakneck speed. Medical personnel on site attempted CPR, but Nodar didn't make it. Ironically, he was just trying to familiarize himself with the course before attempting a higher speed run. While there aren't many survival tips we can share for this one, whatever extreme sport you do, don't push your limits. And wear a helmet if you can. Now, some Olympic tragedies have affected more than just one athlete. On May 24th, 1964, a soccer match between Peru and Argentina in Lima, Peru, led to one of the worst stadium disasters in history. The atmosphere was electric as fans filled the stadium to watch the crucial Olympic qualifying match. Argentina had the lead when, with just 6 minutes left, Peru appeared to score the equalizing goal. But when the referee controversially disallowed the goal, thousands of fans invaded the pitch in protest. Police responded with tear gas as suffocating fans began to flee in terror. As the stampede surged toward the exits, many people were crushed against the stadium's steel shutters, which were locked. This scene of chaos resulted in the death of over 300 people and injured hundreds more. Anytime you attend a large gathering, locate the exits as soon as you arrive at the venue. It could save your life. If a stampede starts, move with the crowd rather than against it. And if you fall, try to curl into a ball to protect your vital organs. Try to get away from the crowd as fast as you can, especially if there's a bomb threat. On the evening of July 27, 1996, Centennial Olympic Park in Atlanta was filled with spectators enjoying a concert, part of the festivities surrounding the games. But the celebration turned into a horror scene when a pipe bomb exploded in the park, resulting in the death of one person and injury to over 100 others. The death toll might have been catastrophic if it wasn't for the security guard on duty, Richard Jewell. Jewell noticed an unattended backpack under a bench near the sound tower and alerted authorities.
We gotta evacuate the tower, we have a bomb!
Despite his effort, the bomb detonated before the area could be fully evacuated. Initially hailed as a hero, Jewell's life took a dramatic turn when he was later wrongfully accused of planting the bomb. While ultimately he wasn't convicted, he was portrayed as a murderer by the media, which devastated him psychologically.
I did not do it.
Eventually, after 88 days of turmoil, he was cleared as a suspect.
The media cared nothing for my feelings as a human being.
Later, it was determined that Eric Robert Rudolph was responsible for the Olympic Park bombing and several others. He was captured in 2003 and pleaded guilty in 2005. If you hear an explosion, drop to the ground and cover your head. Protecting yourself from shrapnel and debris is crucial. The 2008 Olympics in Beijing came at a tremendous human cost, as it displaced approximately 1.5 million residents from their homes. In the years leading up to the Games, Beijing saw an unprecedented wave of construction. Entire neighborhoods were demolished to make way for new stadiums, hotels, and infrastructure. The iconic Bird's Nest Stadium and the Water Cube were built on land that had once been bustling communities. People were given little notice before being forced out of their homes. They were offered minimal compensation that didn't reflect the true value of their property. If you're ever facing forced displacement, make sure to document everything, seek legal assistance, and have a plan for relocation. Next on our list is a gruesome accident that happened at the 1992 Winter Olympics in Albertville, France. 2 days before the closing ceremony, Swiss speed skier Nicolas Bochatay was conducting a routine practice run on the slopes of Les Arcs. As a speed skier, Bochatay was accustomed to racing down mountains at tremendous speeds, sometimes more than 118 miles per hour. During one of these runs, he hit a bump on the slope that sent him off course. Bochatay collided with a snowcat parked on the slope, resulting in fatal injuries. When you're skiing, always be aware of your surroundings, including all signs and warnings posted by ski resorts or competition staff. And be aware of the snow conditions as well. An icy run could send you flying off course. Ouch! And wear a helmet. If you think the Winter Olympics are dangerous, the Summer Olympics can have sweltering consequences. During the 1960 Olympics in Rome, the city was going through a scorching heat wave with temperatures soaring above 100 degrees. Danish cyclist Knud Jensen was competing in the 62-mile team time trial, a race that demands both speed and endurance. Approximately 20 miles into the race, Jensen started showing signs of distress, struggling to maintain his balance. Eventually, he collapsed, hit the pavement, and suffered a severe head injury. Jensen died later that day. The official cause of death was heat stroke, exasperated by both the physical strain of the race and the skull fracture from his fall. If you're riding your bike on a hot summer day, stay hydrated, wear breathable clothes, and take regular breaks. Pay attention to signs of heat stroke, like dizziness, nausea, excessive sweating, and confusion. And you guessed it, wear a helmet. Our next tragedy could have been prevented, but not easily survived. On October 2nd, 1968, around 10,000 students gathered in protest in a square in the Tlatelolco district of Mexico City. They were demanding greater political freedom, the release of political prisoners, and an end to government repression. They were also criticizing the government's excessive spending on the Olympics, which was to start in just 10 days. As the protest advanced, heavily armed police and military units surrounded the square. Without warning, they opened fire on the unarmed protesters. The exact number of casualties remains disputed. While the first official report said 25 people died, further investigations identified 44 remains. But eyewitnesses said that several bodies were carried away from the scene and calculated a death toll of over 300. And while an official number of victims was never published, in 2018, a Mexican government agency acknowledged the massacre was a state crime. Before attending a protest, always gather information about the event. Understand the issues at stake and be aware of potential risks. And if you're ever exposed to tear gas, leave the area immediately. Find a well-ventilated location and avoid touching your face. Next up is one of the most harrowing events in Olympic history, the USA Gymnastics Scandal. Over 250 women have come forward to accuse Larry Nassar, former Team USA Gymnastics doctor, of SA and abuse. The scandal erupted in 2016 when the Indianapolis Star published an investigative report detailing the accusations against Nassar. This report, along with the bravery of the survivors who stepped forward, led to a series of investigations and court cases. Nassar ultimately received prison sentences that will keep him locked up for the rest of his life. If you've been abused, get support from friends, family, or a professional counselor. Organizations like Safe Sport provide resources and assistance for victims of abuse in sports. For many, the darkest moment in Olympic history happened during the 1972 Munich Olympics. In the early hours of September 5th, 8 Palestinian militants, disguised as athletes, scaled the fence surrounding the Olympic Village and entered the apartments of the Israeli team. The militants killed 2 Israelis and took 9 others hostage, demanding the release of 234 Palestinian prisoners and 2 German radicals from Israeli jails. The world watched in horror as the crisis unfolded on live television. As it became clear that a peaceful resolution was unlikely, a rescue operation was planned. But the poor execution of the rescue plan resulted in a firefight, the deaths of the hostages, and the death of a German police officer. The Munich attack led to significant changes in security at future Olympic Games, as well as other global gatherings. The tragedy also intensified the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with Israel launching retaliatory strikes against Palestinian targets. Some could argue that dying while trying to achieve Olympic greatness is an honorable way to go, but many others have died doing things that are, well, anything but great. From jet skiing off of Niagara Falls to testing a homemade bungee jumping rope, we've got a list of dumb deaths that would make Darwin roll in his grave. Find out what they were right here on How to Survive.